Welcome to Howtopam. Today on Howtopam we're going to show you how to install the newly reworked blog software b2evolution. But before we get to that, we should go over and maybe have a look at the software and see what it is and explore it a little bit to see if you'd even want to install it. Now we can do that easily by going to their website at b2evolution.net. And when we arrive at their site here, at the developer site, we can get some information about what b2evolution is all about. Now, there's a lot of information, and this software is growing in popularity, especially over the last few months with the developers reworking it and making it more attractive and mobile friendly. Now, if you'd like to actually have a look at what it's all about, they have a nice little demo site here where you can actually just have a look at the front part of the site, or if you'd like to actually log in and see the back office, the administration area, and how you modify things, you can go in through that way. So here we have a login of admin and a password of demo pass. So let's go into the front door here and let's have a look at what it's all about. Now you can see it's very attractive here, and it's got some nice icons on this front main page. And the main page is classified as this site, and then they've added demo blog versions, 1, blog A, blog B for 2, and a photo version, which is an optimized skin or theme. b2evolution uses skins instead of themes, but basically they're very similar. So they have a theme for photos, and it's optimized to handle a photo album really well. They also have a theme for forums, if you wish to set up a forum and get registered users interacting on your site. There is a theme optimized for manuals if you'd like to put some sort of manual up. You don't have to use any of these. You can have your own blogs, but they are there and optimized for a particular purpose if you want to use them. This front main page is very nice and attractive. You can put your own background image in if you prefer, and they've written it so that they have a nice little customizable container here that will list blogs that you've recently set up on other sites. This container is customizable a bit. You can even move it through some of the options that are available. You can change the opacity on it to make it darker or lighter, depending on the background photo you have in there. And the real nice thing about it is mobile friendly. And you can see here, when we shrink my browser down to about the size of a smartphone, you see there's no scroll bar here at the bottom. Everything comes together nicely. The picture, the background is resized, and everything slides into place real nicely. So that is a real bonus, the fact that it's mobile friendly. And even these other blog skins, now I've used the Bootstrap framework, and here you see the skin that's optimized for photos. And this here particular page would list all your albums, your photo albums, and you can click on a photo album and go in to the actual album itself, and you can see all the other photographs that you have collected there. Very nice. And again, even the photo album is optimized for mobile use. You see no scroll bar at the bottom. Everything slides in really nice. So that is a real bonus. And I would say that as long as you use the Bootstrap skins or themes, to set up your blogs, and there are a selection of them, then your blog will be mobile friendly. These here particular skins are all customizable if you know anything about CSS and PHP. However, if you do not, there's plenty of information available about how to make customizable adjustments via the CSS file, and you can even go more in depth and make a few changes to the PHP files. Okay, so if we actually have viewed that, and if you would like, you can come by b2evolution.net and spend more time on the demo, especially enter into the back office through the admin and demo passwords, and see what it's like to manage a site like this, and see all the tools that are available to help you manage it. If you're satisfied that that's what you'd like to do, then you can go to the download section, where they have many versions over the years past all listed here. But of course the older versions are not really what you'd like to go with now. You want to stick with the newer ones. They started going into a bootstrap theme package around 6.0, and every improvement that they've made and released as a beta version since then has been an improvement built upon the other ones. And I've tried many of these out, 6.42 and 6.43 and 6.44, and it's actually 6.44 that I'm going to show you how to install. They're all excellent, but of course with the improvements they just keep getting better, and 6.44 is going to be the one you'll likely want to choose to go with. Even though it is not listed as being stable, I haven't found too many bugs in it. So let's take 6.44, click on the download link here, and we'll download a copy of that just to get started. Okay, and you can see here that we'll save that to file, and we'll take the download, and once it's downloaded and on our computer, we'll be able to open it up and then look at uploading it to our website. Okay. Okay, now you can see here, if we go to the downloads, that we have a copy of b2evolution, the newest copy out there. So what we want to do, it's a zip file, and hopefully we have some zip file software that'll open that, and on this operating system we do. So we'll just right click on it and it says open with the archive manager, and that's okay. Now we look inside when we open it, and we see there's a couple of folders here. So let's extract those two folders. Let's go right back into, maybe let's put it in the documents folder. Okay, let's just run them in there, and let's create a folder maybe, and let's call it B2. Okay, so let's extract those from the zip file into our B2, and we can close that now. Now let's go to our documents, and here's our folder that we created, and in here we have what is the b2evolution software. Okay. Okay, now that we've got our blog software downloaded and unzipped into a file here, you'll see that in our file b2evolution came with 2 folders, but we're not running a Mac system right now, so we're just going to concern ourselves with this one. We won't worry about this one at all right now. So in here you can see we have all the files necessary inside the b2evolution folder. Now we don't want to upload the b2evolution folder with all the files in it. We'll actually want to upload the files that are in here and not the folder itself, not the b2evolution folder, but we'll upload each one of these individually right to the root directory of our server. And then once that is done, you will access your website directly by accessing this index.php page. However, the howtopam website actually has a landing page that we access first, and then we link to the blog. So in our case, rather than putting it on the root directory of our server, we actually have our landing page setting on the root directory, so we'll have to put our blog software inside a folder, and then we link from our landing page through a button to the index.php file in our blog folder to bring up our blogs. Now, in any case, there are a number of ways that we can install blogs on our server, but I'm going to show you the one right now, and I'll show you other ways in another video. So we need to go to the howtopam host and log into our account so that we can access our space. And you'll see here howtopam has a web host in here where our site is currently set, and you will notice that we already have b2evolution blog software set up, but it is the older version, and we're going to replace it with this newer mobile friendly version. But I'll do that later, and I'll show you how to just get this installed. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to need a database. So once you have web host space available and you get into your control panel for your web host, there will be a place where you can see your files that you have from the control panel. And there's the root directory, and here's the files that we currently have up there. And of course, as well as the file manager, we can also see that we have a place where we could create databases. Now, most of your hosts will allow you to create database similar to this host, and they also have an FTP software package available, a manager for uploading your files. We're going to use our own FTP file program, not the one on this site. But anyways, once you've got your hosting server space available, your hosted server space, we're going to actually go and make a database. b2evolution will require that you set up a database for it to install its tables. Okay, so what we're going to do is create a database here. Well, creating a database is fairly simple. Most of your web hosts that you'll have in their cPanel has a place where you can easily get in to manage your databases, and it'll be that spot there that you're going to create a database. So what you'll want to do is just get into this area, and you can see we have databases here, but let's click this button that says add a new database, and let's call this b2e. Let's call this b2evolution 2 because we're already running a database, a b2evolution database, but you'll likely just call yours b2evolution because it'll be the first one you have up there. Let's give it a username and let's create a password. And repeat that password. And let's create that database. Okay, there we go. We got our database. It's as simple as that on most sites. You shouldn't have any more difficulty. Now, once you're done, once you're finished creating your database, you can get out of that area and you're ready to upload and install your b2evolution software. So let's go and do that. Now, in order to install b2evolution software, you're going to need some way of getting it from your computer here. We have it here. Now we got to get these files from here up to that website. Now that's done usually through an FTP file transfer program. And as you've seen on our website there, the host offered FTP services, but we actually have our own FTP program that I like to use, and we'll bring that up now. And if you like, you can install your own program as well. We use FileZilla, and if you download a copy and install FileZilla on your personal computer, all you really need to do is put your information in here to access. Now, I already use it, so I can just click here to access the last place I was in. But most host sites, if your website is http howtopam.com, then your access would be the same, except instead of HTTP, it's going to be FTP. So let's go FTP howtopam.com. Now we'll have to use our username. And we'll have to put in our password. And let's try and connect then. And that should get us up to our host. We'll find out if that'll connect us. Right now in this file transfer program, we have two windows. This window here is showing me my computer. And this other window here is showing nothing right now because it's going to connect to the website, hopefully. And if it does successfully, then we'll see the root file system of our website server online. So let's just connect there. It's trying to connect. It's checking out all my credentials here. And success. Okay, so here we're connected via FTP online through this file transfer program. And this is actually the root directory of our server online where we were at howtopam.com. And this is my computer here. So we can see here that we're highlighted on the My Documents folder. So it was the same as this, My Documents, and inside My Documents was b2evolution, and inside that was b2evolution. You can see the same thing here, My Documents, and down here we have b2evolution. So let's open that and see there's b2evolution, and we'll open that. And we see we have in there, we have that Mac program that we're not going to use, and we have the b2evolution. Now, as I say, we don't want to upload this folder directly, but we want these files. So let's just click on that. And there we go. Okay, we've got all our files that we do want to upload. Okay. Now, before we upload, before we upload all these from the computer onto the website, we want to make sure we know where we're going on the website here. So let's just find our place around. We were in the public HAML area, weren't we, on our web host? And in there you can see the old b2evolution blogs and all the other files that howtopam had. So what we want to do is we don't want to put these files just on the root. We want to put them in a containing folder. Okay, to get a place to put our b2evolution blog software on the howtopam server, we're going to have to create a folder for it. Now, the old b2 blog software is in a folder called blogs. Therefore, we have a domain that says howtopam.com/blogs, and then you're into the blog of your choice. We're going to do that again here, except we can't duplicate the directory of blogs. So we'll make a folder called blogs number 2 in here, and then we will upload all these files into blog number 2. So let's go back to our website, and right here at our host site we are into the file manager, and we need to create a directory here. Here's the existing b2evolution blog software, and we can call this directory anything. So let's create a new directory here, and let's call it let's just call it b2. How is that? And let's just save that. Okay, there we are. And you see it's empty. There's no files in it. Okay? So now we have the folder created. It's running just ahead of blogs here. We'll refresh this one, and there it is right there. Okay, so that's where we're going to put the b2evolution blog folder files in here. So let's go back. Let's just shrink this down. Let's go back here and let's refresh this directory. Okay, now you can see in our computer here we have our files from our b2evolution folder, which would be the same as all these files that you see here on the computer are listed in here. Okay, and this is our web server online, and we have all the files that are existing, and here is the directory we created, the new folder online. So let's just open that one up, and it's empty, of course. So now what we'd like to do is we're going to take all these files so we'll have to highlight all of these entries. Make sure we get them all. We don't want to miss any. Once they're all highlighted, we just drag them all into the folder on the other side of the window, and the upload will begin. As you can see, the files are going from the computer, being uploaded into the B2 folder we created online at the server. Now we'll let that complete, and then we'll go back online to our host and complete our install. Okay, now we're back to show you how to install the b2evolution on a site that's already up and running. So what we'll do is we'll go back into our website now that we've uploaded with our FTP program. We've uploaded the b2evolution 6.44 onto the B2 folder on our website server. So let's go into the website now and see what we have. Okay, here's our website here. We'll go to the file manager and we'll just have a look. Make sure that our files are there. Okay, we're into the file manager. Here's the public.haml, and here's the b2evolution folder we created on an existing site. Let's just open it up and see what we've got in there. Make sure our files are up, and oh yes, you can see all the b2evolution files in here, and the important install folder, which what we'll actually be doing now is going into that install folder via an HTTP address, and we'll be picking up a file that's in there, and that file will be called index.php. So we're going to go through our web address, howtopam.com/b2/index/index.php, and let's see what that does for us. Then we should bring up the install program for the b2evolution. So let's just bring up a new window here and let's type in our address. B2 for our folder we created, install for the folder that comes with the b2evolution software, and inside that install folder is a file called index.php, and let's just see if we get that. And look at that, it's come right up there. So there we go. We've got a hold of that file, and now we can use that file to complete the install in our website here. So let's have a look here at what it's asking us for. The b2evolution installer tells us that this is our basic config file that will configure our information on there, and it tells us that we're running a server called localhost, and our database is MySQL database b2evolution, but we didn't. We have one copy of b2evolution running already, so we created a new database called b2evolution 2. So we're going to run that one, and of course our username on that database is howtopam, and the password for that database is any password you've chosen to use. So we've put in our credentials, we've got our correct database that we created, we've got our username, we've got our password for that database, and as I say, because we have a landing page called howtopam.com, we had to put our install of b2evolution in a folder called b2. And once it's installed, we will be able to connect from our landing page here at howtopam.com through a button into the index of the blog section. And our email address here, well, our email address on here is admin@howtopam.com. admin@howtopam.com. Okay, so we've got our server information in here. And we got server information right from our database where it says server name is right here. So we're going to put that information in here, MySQL host server name. Okay, so you can see here's our username and then our host company and then the MySQL. Here's our database name and here's our username and our password. There we go. Okay, we got our information in there. And that's what we wanted. Get the 4 places figured out, and we have our information all set to go. Now, if we look at this, the green light here tells us we're good to go. Everything worked with our configuration, our database, and everything has been accepted. Now you see the options. You have a new install, and of course we are going to do a new install here, or we could upgrade from a previous version, but that's another type of install and we'll do that one in a video later. Now sometimes your database tables are not set up in UTF-8 ASC11. b2evolution requires that the tables be set up in that character system. If it is not, you can convert your database tables using this to set your database up. But if your database tables are not correct, you'll get a red flag warning here that'll tell you that the database tables are not correct, and then you'll want to choose this option to rearrange the tables on your database. But we're going to do a new install here. Now, everything looks good. Here's our configuration credentials. It tells us our username, that's correct. And our password, it's set but not shown. And our database table name, b2evolution 2, for our second install of b2evolution. Our server name and host. And the prefix tables for the installation in the database will be EVO, but that is set by the b2evolution install. And our URL then will be the landing page of howtopam.com, the folder of b2, and then index, or whatever we choose to name the first page of our blog with. And there's our email address. Okay, so the new install, let's go ahead and do that. Now we get here. Now if we choose this new install, it has all the examples shown on the b2evolution.net example blog site. And sometimes it's good to install all that stuff so that you can play around with it until you get familiar with the blog site software. But we're already quite familiar with it from playing with it on the b2evolution.net demo site. So what we're going to do is we're not going to install the sample collection. Okay, so we will not install the sample collection. Maybe the blogs, because we're going to create our own blogs. Let's install the home page so we have something to look at. Okay, so we want to install the forums skin, or the manual skin, or the photo skin, Maybe we will. We'll put the photo skin in too. We won't put blog A and blog B in there. And let's go ahead and do the install. I put the home site and the photo site in there so that we can actually have something to look at once we get it installed there. Okay. So now it tells us the installation is successful. And we can go ahead and log in. Very important though, the first login, your login username is going to be admin, which it is always default. But this password is very complex and you need that password. So what we're going to do here is let's just grab us a program here. Maybe we'll grab gedit here, and let's save that information just for the time being. Okay, let's copy that just so we have it, and let's just put it on here on a little clipboard there. And let's log in. Okay. Now, my computer seems to have pulled up this here information, but I doubt that's the right information. So let me just copy that password. Let me take this password out of there and put the new password in, and let's log in. And look at that. Success. Okay. So now what we're going to want to do immediately is let's go to the admin area, and there's our profile, which we could edit. But let's do the first thing here. Let's change our password so that we can get back in. And there's the current password. It picked it up already. Let's give it a new password, something you're familiar with. And let's duplicate that password. And let's change it. Okay, our password's changed successfully. So now we no longer need this here information. So we'll just close that and we won't even save it. Now, let's go to the front office here. And there you go. There we are. And we got only the front page, which I selected to install, and the photo albums. And as you can see, we'll just drag our browser. It's about the size of a smartphone here, and about 320 pixels wide, about the size of a smartphone, and you see we have everything come together there into place. Nice, mobile friendly. Now there's much more you can do with this software after it's installed, and we will show you that in some other videos. But you can see here we have a web address of howtopam.com, b2 folder, index .php, and then of course we're into the photos. After you've got your blog up and running, you want to go back to your file manager on your web space, and you'll want to remove now the install folder for security purposes. If you do not remove the install folder, it's easy to type your web address and pick up that folder again. If we go inside our b2evolution install, you can see the install folder here. And of course, if anyone typed your web address into your folder and hit that install folder and picked it up, then of course the manager for installing will come up, and you could start a new install right over top of your existing website. So for security purposes, you're going to want to take that install folder and remove it. Just delete the install folder off with all these files off of your site, and then you won't be able to access it through the HTTP address and pick up the manager. What happens if you don't? If you do not delete that folder and somebody happens to type in your web address and hit that install folder, they will get this program. Okay? And this is your installer program. So it's best for security reasons just to remove that folder, and then it no longer exists and it can't mistakenly be picked up via somebody typing in your web address. And we'll do another video here soon on a clean install on a brand new site to show you how easy it is to install it when you don't have another site up and running. And then we'll do a video later on about how to upgrade an existing. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this tutorial useful and helpful. And this stuff is really not that complicated once you've done it a few times, but for those who are just exploring this avenue for the first time, sometimes it's helpful to have an example video or a bit of a tutorial to follow. So that's all for now, and we'll log out of here and log out of our server. And we're off. Thank you for watching.